I
Close
pers
to
I personally would wear the glasses if I were you because you look like
Steven, you
the
have glasses?
librarian. No, I have perfect vision. I'm
So
perfect.
what the
Anyway,
hell? You gonna
Woo, there we
I
go.
join the team
I
or
do
not?
actually. No.
We'll be
I can wear my
twins.
Bring them.
sunglasses.
Bring
But
them
anyway,
because it's a day that we need to wear glasses because we don't see
no,
very well what's going on.
I apparently I see Vicky. I
We
think
are
the
not.
good thing with
Is this
the good
real
thing
what
with
I'm
Vicky wearing
seeing?
glasses now, everybody thinks she's the hot librarian that gives spankings because that's what we
Ah,
tell everybody.
jeez.
Is that even a thing anymore? I don't think kids even go to the library, so it's not even like a fantasy
She's
they
not
have.
a librarian, but the other you can keep.
Vicky, I think everybody loves you in glasses now.
Are
It's
we
like you
ready?
got
I'm
this.
posting.
You
I'm
got the
Uh-huh.
posting.
fantasy. Should we start the show? You want to
Uh-huh.
start the show? Talking, or you want to just
How
talk about
many?
Vicky
How
and her glasses?
many? Yes,
How many
start the
what?
show because I'm posting and people are coming now because
They're
they
coming.
want to
They're
hear
breathing
from
heavy.
us.
Congratulations. All right, here we go.
My
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Oh, and here we are with the sexy
Hello,
librarian
how
and
are
the
you doing,
studious
everybody?
artist. Good. How's everything going?
It's
It's
cold
a beautiful.
here. I'm
I know.
freezing.
But
It's
it's cold
five
here too,
Celsius.
It's
It's
Is
five
it?
C.
5? 5? Oh my
Five.
God.
No, it's not.
You're much.
It feels like temperature is 0. It's freaking
No,
cold.
it's
It's
five.
like
It's
32.
five Celsius. It's
Really?
5 Celsius. I don't think that's.
Did
Let me
did
see. Let
he
me look at the field temperature here. Hold on a second. I want to make
did
sure we
he
give the
change the
fans the
weather
right
too?
information. I changed everything. I change everything.
It
No,
says
Did
no,
feels
he
like
put
it's
when I woke
tariffs?
up this morning was
Did
32,
he
which
put
is 0.
tariffs on weather?
no. It's
On the
basically
sun?
it's right now. It's 5 Celsius. That's it.
5
So
Interesting.
in
basically,
Texas?
yeah. It's so for the people that don't know, can't do math. That's 40 Fahrenheit.
We are
Yeah.
19, but it feels cold. I
That's
think there are
19.
tariffs on
It's
on the
68
sun.
degrees. What do you? That's crazy. 19.
They're
I
used to
wish it
it
was
hot like we
19
are,
here.
though.
Yeah,
So I
yesterday
have
the high
hot
was.
tea. I have
Oh
my
my
hoodie
God.
on. I'm
Oh my
ready to
God.
go.
You
It's
could tell
cold.
she's like, I've got my hot tea. I've
I
got
don't
my
I don't have the heat
glasses.
on. I didn't turn Did
Um,
you have your heat on? I turned the heat
yeah.
off like a couple months ago because so I
Really?
have no heat in my house.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
no,
but
the heat
Vicky, maybe
just
you
works.
should
We flip a
save
button.
because you never know what
Yeah.
future brings.
We just flip a button and the heat comes on. We don't turn it
Save for
off.
this
What kind
for
of house
Well,
do you
I mean,
live
I
January.
in?
have it on the air conditioner instead of on the heat function. I could have turned
Well,
the button over, yes, but
oh, I'm just gonna say, oh, okay. I didn't know. I was gonna say, what kind of house do you have? Like,
I
is it
didn't flip it
1930 where the
HVAC.
boiler guy has to come to your house?
But I remember that though.
I
I
remember
remember
back
having
in
to light
the
the furnace every year and shit because your furnace
yeah.
was off and yeah.
Yeah, I remember. And the boiler guy would come and he'd fill the boiler with oil and stuff for the winter. And then
Oh, we never had that.
we had the guy with the logs that would come and give us the wood for the fireplace. And that was really come in his VW. I never forgot this as a kid. He'd come in a VW and I would be like, how much wood can you fit in this VW? And he would bring, it had to be at least 10 feet in length and about 4 feet high of wood in his VW. And it would last all
Wait,
winter. It was
VW
great.
is a
you had a
Volkswagen.
fireplace in New York?
Yeah, in the house.
You had
A
a
lot of
house.
fun.
I was
Yeah.
for some reason I imagined you in an apartment because I feel everybody in New York lives in an apartment. That's
No,
probably wrong.
we're the snooty New Yorkers. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
We don't hobnob with the
We had a
poor.
house.
Well, excuse me, darling.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, it was very cool. I
We
remember
chopped
this
our own
guy
wood, so
distinctly. Yeah, I loved it. It was cool. I had a good time. And but it's not that chilly. The dog and I went for our walk this morning. She thought it was cold, and she saw a rabbit, and she got all excited.
well, yeah,
So,
she's got fur on now, so that makes sense.
Did
well,
you run after it?
she tries to run after it, but she's she's a dog, so it's not her.
Oh, they
Her,
they
her,
could
her
they
specialty is
could.
not running after anything. Her specialty is going woof
There are some
woof.
dogs which can find the
Oh,
rabbits and
No, mine
not
like
rabbit, the
mine
hare.
can run. Well, yeah, she ran here. The problem is she caught a bird once. She didn't kill it. She played with it. So if she catches the wild hare, she would play with it. And I'm like, okay. But it's funny because when we walk in the neighborhood, all the dogs look like they see each other, they go, wow, they're going to kill each other. And then you get them to
mhm.
the dog park and then they all play. and it's just on
Yeah.
the leads. They want to kill it. I'm just like, you guys are like, what the hell? Like your buddy. But there's a corky down the street, whether my dog's on a lead or not, and the corky comes out, she runs loose, she runs over to her. My dog will go rough, and the corky will go give her a kiss and then run away. And then my dog's like, tag, like, go play. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So
Oh,
We
that's so
love
cute.
dogs.
she's a good little girl. So yeah, I let her drive
How
the
old?
car.
How old is she?
She just turned in January. She turned 3 years old.
Oh, she's very young.
Oh, still a
She's a
baby.
She's still a baby. Yeah, she's an old lady baby. When we got her, she was 2.5 months, and she
So you
has
don't
always
have it too
been.
long.
I've had her. I got her at 2.5. I've had her since baby 2.5 months after she was born. Yeah, but the funny
Ah,
part
do you
about her
have
is she's
fun?
acted
Oh,
like an
okay.
old lady since day one. She's an old lady mom
Oh.
dog, and she's like, okay, do, bump. Like there's nothing. She's house, everything. She's just It's like you think she's like 50. She runs around for 5 minutes and she's like, all right, I'm done. I need to go lay down and have my cigarette and,
God, I
part
know
your
what that feels
combines.
like.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for you guys that have fantasies, purposely, we're going to do this. There you go. There's Vicky, the librarian today. She'll be at Hitler's House of Pain in Austin later. Feel free to join. So in the library room. So there you go.
They
So
yell at you. They don't
Librarian
hurt you. They
girl.
just scold
Yeah.
you.
I know, right? So get a
There's some
spanking and
pain
everything.
involved.
Yeah, and get a spanking. It'll be like going to parochial school with a nun. Anyway, so we're going to
I'm
talk
not
about.
wearing a nun outfit.
I
Just
can I tell you
FYI.
it's a bad habit. Thank you. I'm here till Thursday.
Ah,
So,
sit-em-tum.
so, kids, what do you want to talk about today? I wrote the title. We're going to talk geopolitics without mentioning that guy, which Adam, of course, has put as his name today.
Yeah, we have the game is like this. Everyone has 5 points. The three of
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoever says the name of the president of America loses
Yeah.
1 point, and
Okay.
when he loses everything, we throw him away.
Okay.
So
But
don't
nicknames,
say my name.
Okay. We'll just call
nicknames
you.
are allowed though, right? Like
Can we
nicknames.
Don't
call?
say
Yeah,
my
we
name.
call me. We can say you can't say the proper name, but we can
Steven,
call him.
are we winning or not yet? Should I go
No.
back to sleep?
Well, here's what's going on.
When should I wake up?
Never.
Probably 2030, 2035, maybe. I don't know. Here's where we
That
are
long?
today. Yeah, that long.
Mm.
The markets have lost somewhere between $2 and $5 trillion. It depends who you talk to.
Today?
And
Mm.
no, over since the
As of
tariffs
today.
of last week, as of like this morning,
How
the
many?
market's
How
in it
many?
2 to 5 trillion, depending on who you talk to.
Oh, I read it's 7.
Okay, it might have been because the Asian
Of course it
markets were
is.
down.
Probably it's
Okay.
bigger loss.
The Asian markets tanked yesterday or
But
last night into this
do they
morning.
count also the crypto?
Crypto is down as well.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Tether,
Do they count this also?
yeah, they count it. But Tether said that they want to now because of that gentleman that sits in the White House, the orange guy. They are
Just save the
going
point.
to. Yeah, no, it's not the point. I know. That's because we can say we can call him the name. We just can't call him his name. Tether's going to have a stable coin now because the administration is pro crypto, and I still am.
Oh,
I understand crypto. I'm okay with it to an extent, but I'd rather, if I'm going to do something in that space, I'd tokenize assets on the blockchain, and I would do that. But that's just me. I don't think a stable coin is going to work unless it gets regulated very quickly by the SEC and the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, and make sure that for every dollar there's a dollar. Not like the last stable
yeah,
coin,
but
for every dollar there's
that's
30
taking
cents.
out the whole meaning of this.
Yeah, and the markets are going to go down because of the tariffs. Jamie Dimon this morning said that we're probably going to be in a recession soon, and I'm like, "Whoa, Jamie, you're so
Yeah,
smart.
it's
We've
not
been
only
saying
the
that for
tariffs.
5
The
months."
tariffs or the. Do you have the saying that it's we say kerasaki stidurta, the
say that every
cherry
day.
on the
Nope.
cherry on the cake?
Oh, the cherry on the cake. Oh,
We say
yeah,
cherry
We
on
have the
top.
saying
cherry on top.
The cherry on
because the
top. we
markets
say.
are not falling because only on the tariffs. It's because the whole thing. I believe it's a sign. It's a big sign. I think.
Well, mostly the markets are falling because of the tariffs. Just to let you know, and most people will tell you that. Like if you read the headlines, global stocks tumble as blank offers no respite from tariffs. Here, I'll give you an idea of what's going on globally. So the dollar is down. The European stocks tumbled with the STOX European
Everything is
600.
down. Everything is down.
Sinking 4.7%. The German DAX was down 4.2%. The
The
FTS
American,
was down
the Dow
4.5%.
Jones, how is it?
It's not open yet. So it ended the week down. Goldman Sachs raised its probability of a U.S. recession from 35 to 45%. Goldman, it's 100%. Everybody knows that.
Right.
Let's see. There's nothing going on. I mean, basically, if you read here you go. One last, okay, I just gave you all those numbers. So yeah, the FTX or FTSE down 4.7%. The stock Euro 600 down 5.1. DAX is down 4.8.
But
Bonds
is the American going to open today or no?
Yeah, the stock exchange will open. Of course it will.
So what time?
Yeah,
Soon.
It'll go down. Don't worry about it. The futures are down.
I know. I just want to
Yeah.
see, because I guess the American market will be hit the most. No.
Well, the American market, what will end up happening is the futures right now are down. So ultimately, what will end up happening is the American market will definitely end up down. So top securities, here's you go. Right now, just so you know what's going on, the S&P, let me just double check and make sure this is up to date. Yep, the S&P 500 right now is down 5.9%, so 6%. NASDAQ is down 5.8, another 6%. The US 10-year bond is down 27 basis points. If you don't know what that is, it's fine. Crude oil is down 2%. Gold, of course, is up 0.35%. The euro is up 6 basis points. The pound to the dollar is down.
That I don't like, but
points.
okay.
I'm just saying, yeah. So the whole planet is down except for gold, because people think gold's going to help them if there's a whatever.
Yeah,
I think
when
listen,
the iPhone is going to cost.
Right.
Now tell me something, because I don't really understand, and I think that most people don't understand, because this administration, in general, the politics, we are going to do this because it will do this, and did he explain really why and how he's going to make that America great again? Because we don't see it, and of course he says, okay, you have to wait. The surgery has happened. Now we're in recovery. I don't see this as a recovery. I see that the patient is dying actually. So what's the recovery? Maybe sometimes the solution is to keep
Yeah,
Well,
we're just supposed to hang tough while he golfs. I think that's the current plan, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I
Yeah,
golf, and when we golf, we just laugh at the American people. China and
Right.
Russia right now are laughing all the way to the bank, especially China.
Yep.
Yeah, but
China and Russia and
he,
Iran. I'm sorry,
he's
China,
the only
Russia,
guy
Iraq.
who turned the
Wait,
whole planet against him. I mean, it has never happened
Well,
before.
he just fired a guy named Timothy Hawk, who was the head of our cybersecurity last week on Friday, because some conspiracy theory lady showed up at the office and said he's not
I've
loyal
read
to
it.
you. Yeah. But here's the problem with that. So China and Russia, Iran and North Korea are laughing all the way to the bank, because now there's nobody to protect us. So we had a gentleman on Lost Dollar Business Club who writes for a defense magazine, who is a cybersecurity expert. And inside the Beltway, he was telling us that people think like the whole administration of Trump is just Russian. I'm sorry, I didn't say
1
his first
point
name. But I don't
down.
care.
They get it
Four.
one.
That's fine.
Four.
Is just Russian assets, because everything they're doing is making America weak, not keeping America strong. So the big problem you have is we've never really been out of and I'm using the D word, not the R word, depression of 2008. If you look at the numbers of 2008 and go back to 1929, it's the same. We were in a depression. They didn't want to say it because, oh God, we don't want people, or it's a depression. What Trump's going to cause, I know it's 2 points, is another depression, but this one there'll be no coming back from, and that's going to be the problem.
And we are talking about totally different periods, right? And we're talking about instant transactions, about all countries involved, and now we're talking about mega countries, right? Superpowers, China,
Russia,
USA, all the countries, the European Union, everything. And I don't see anything. I mean, nobody is winning, actually. Nobody.
Right.
Unless I don't know, unless he really has a plan. Like desperate plan. Yeah,
Yeah, you got
because
a Hail
the
Mary.
economy of the US is just fucked up. We don't even know. Maybe he knows something. I don't know. But what's the plan?
There's no plan.
What's
There
the
is no
plan?
plan.
What's the
The plan is
plan?
working. This is the plan.
I'm sorry, but what's the plan on bringing back like factories like iPhone, right? iPhone,
Okay.
bringing back in the US,
Well, factories, I can
and
tell you.
which will take like 5 years. They say about 5 years, something like that, and a lot of billions.
I've said that here.
And
So here's the
and
deal. Here's
okay,
the deal.
so the
Here's your
country.
factory thing. Wait, before you go to your next
Okay,
point, let me explain
let's
factories really quick.
one.
Honda's bringing a factory here. They're going to leave Mexico, come here, and we've said this on Lost Dollar. It takes anywhere from if you're the Chinese, it takes a day, but we're not. We're Americans. It's going to take anywhere from 18 months to 4 years to build your factory. So the
Mhm.
factory say gets here. I'm being generous. 2028, 2030. With all the new technology that's coming out with robots and AI, the question then really is, will you be staffing the factory with, Adam, Vicky, and Steven? Or are you going to stack the factory with robots and have instead of 50 or 1,500 employees, 5 people that run the robots? So making
Yeah, but
America great.
he wants it
Go ahead.
back because he wants to give more work to the people,
There's
right?
no more
Not
work.
to the robots.
There's no what work.
Right. That's
What
his
work?
point.
I
That's my
know,
point.
but does he
Yeah.
know? I don't know. What
Does he know?
knows,
Sure he knows.
No,
Because
I
this is
don't think he
bullshit
does.
anyway.
I think it's rhetoric for the people that voted for him. If you guys watched the Friday or Saturday's show or the live show Friday that we did on Lost Dollar, we had David DeWitt from NetGov, and he's a defense writer, and even the Republicans now are fed up with Trump, and a lot of them are afraid
Everybody,
that
I
they're going
told
to
you
lose
that
him.
everybody is
Yeah, I know,
against
right?
him. Even did you read what Musk was saying? He was saying, "Oh, it would be finally great if Europe and America would have not tariffs at all." So it's going on the opposite, totally opposite side.
Do you know why he
And he
said
was
that?
accusing a guy there in the council of Trump
Right,
that he's like a professor from Harvard. He didn't make anything. So we are seeing already a civil war inside there, right?
right. But you know why
Because
Musk said that?
he had Musk at a very top
You
position,
know why
right?
Musk said that, right? It would be better if there was no tariffs
Yeah,
because
yeah, he
now
said that.
his crappy test. I know he said what you're saying. I'm saying the reason he said that is because his crappy little POS
Yeah, of
cars,
course.
all 90% of the components aren't here. They're
Yeah.
China, Japan, South Korea, where Vicky has an affair. By the way, I saw that your boyfriend got arrested and put in jail for this and kicked out of being
Is he my
president.
He
boyfriend?
has a
I
new
forget
boyfriend.
what your scenario is because
Yeah,
I
Oh,
got
this
both
I'm
him
he's
sure
up
you're
in the
behind.
frustrated.
north, and then I got
You got them both.
which would yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
one boyfriend in the north is in his little cyber terrorism labs, and they're stealing
He
all the
is.
crypto
Yeah.
and
But
all
in the
that shit
north
right now.
of Korea or
Yeah,
north?
North Korea. North Korea is
Yeah.
like the number one cyber attack against the U.S.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're stealing. Probably they stole my Ethereum.
probably. And then
Yeah.
my boyfriend in the south just got impeached.
Arrested.
He's not in jail yet because he still has to go
Not
through
yet.
a trial, but he's at least not in power. So we have an election in 60 days. Meanwhile, they're freaking out because they're trying to send people here to kiss
You have elections? What elections?
T Rumpy's ass. Didn't say it. And
Right.
to try and get their economic stuff back together. And they don't know who to send it, who's doing. I mean, they do have someone that's in there right now, this Duxu, which is like, I don't know, his name makes me laugh, but he's kind of in charge and they're sort of sending people. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah.
The world is a crazy place right now. But yeah, so Adam, to your
Yeah.
point on the factories, that's wonderful, but it's
Yeah.
useless.
So let's continue. Then
Okay.
can we know the prices of the iPhone? We're saying iPhone just like it's not about iPhone only. It's about every product, right?
Right.
Can we guarantee that the prices will be the same or lower?
They'll be higher.
No.
Of course, they'll be higher because
Mhm.
they'll be produced in a country which is more expensive in general, right?
Who knew?
Yeah.
Everybody. Not rocket science, kids. So I just thought
Well,
the funniest part when I woke
if
up.
the guy,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not saying
Go ahead.
his name. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
that
his
guy.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
If
down
the
to 4
guy
though, because you said
was
it.
watching our show,
Yeah.
he would be in a better position. He would be winning. But I don't see it coming soon enough.
I don't know. Here, let me just tell you this while we're doing this. The Dow Jones futures are down 192 basis points. The S&P futures are now down 218 basis points. NASDAQ futures are down 2.6 basis points. And all the other stuff you guys already know.
Well,
So there you go.
you know something, Steven, I don't understand, because there are those
Oh, and
guys.
Bitcoin's down 3%, down to 76,000
Well,
instead of
it's down, very
101.
down. Everything is very down.
Yeah, everything. The world's coming to an end.
What actually is? I forgot actually.
That's what happens when you get old. So
let's see. How
But
can we help
there
you
is so much
remember?
to say. I mean, I don't know where to start from, because when okay, for I remembered. When we say, because there are many people which are opposed to globalization, right?
right.
Globalization is a term that doesn't have to do only about policies. I mean, the factories in China or everything like that. Globalization is something that happened, I mean, thousands of years ago. It's when people start to communicate with other people, like the Greeks start to communicate or meet in India. When great Alexander went there, he was one of the first guys who globalized things. Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
This is 330 BC, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking
BC.
about 2,500
BCE.
years ago.
Right.
And so globalizing depends on the means that we have to communicate, to transport, and everything like that. This is globalization. You cannot stop it. We know
Yeah.
very well that we're living in one planet, in one. Well, if you zoom out, nothing really happens, because for the, I always have to put philosophy in this. From the point of view of, I don't know, the space, we're just a tiny speck,
Mhm.
a tiny rock that is circling a medium star, somewhere like that, and like that. So if you zoom out, nothing really is happening. Everything's okay. But if you zoom in to this tiny little planet where we all live, and until now we haven't found any other life somewhere else, and we are we are probably the most intelligent thing that exists in the universe. We don't know, but we might be.
No, we're not. Stop it.
That would be
Stop it. We are
scary.
not the most
We don't
intelligent
know.
thing that lives in the universe. We do
I
know.
said we don't know.
We do know. We
Oh
actually do.
no, we don't know. We don't
We
know.
do. The public doesn't know, but
Until we
everybody
know.
that's in the know actually knows. This is like the worst kept secret from the public. So
Mm.
yeah, we do know.
Anyway,
There's tons of stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, because I was thinking about globalization,
Sure.
and
Mhm.
look, now it's we're already, for example, for the artist, we are selling all around the world, like most of the people are. Now, there are many people who are selling through Amazon, through
Right.
doing some stuff, and it's for passive income, or sometimes a real income. And those guys, they're trying. Okay, that's the time we're living. You can judge it if you like it or you don't like it, but they're making a living from this. uh, we are making a living. Now it's hard for me to sell like to the United States. They will be imposed like tariffs for my work. So it's I mean, it's everywhere. Everybody is affected in a way.
Mhm.
There are guys
Yeah.
in Greece who are supporting the guy with the name we can't say. There was, and I'm asking,
A
are you
name
happy
we
now?
shall not say.
Yeah, because
He who
look,
shall not be
if
named.
for
Roll the
example,
Trump.
Germans have problems economical, or
He was
French
called
people,
another word.
Italian, they will not come to Greece for holidays. This is our income.
All the
So what are you
Saudis
gonna do
are
with all those
everywhere.
Airbnbs
Yeah.
and stuff, and all the food that
Yeah.
we are preparing here for them? It's
They're going to
the
starve and die.
economy now of the world is globalized by default. I mean, you
Right.
cannot stop it and close yourself inside. This is not make America great again. It's not even. It's only America. It's not even
First of
this.
all, is
It's
that
nothing.
statement that he made is BS. America was already a
Of
great
course it is.
country.
Like everything almost. He said.
We had problems or whatever. He's making America suck cock. Full stop. Let's just be blunt. We're becoming a third rate shithole, and it's going to get
Mhm.
worse. In the Financial
Mhm.
Times and even on Bloomberg, I was just looking.
Now,
Most of the
now,
major guys
yeah,
out there
as
are
an
also
experiment,
saying
because it's kind
not
of an
good.
experiment. Now we will
It
see
is, but now
how
he's screwing the
fast
experiment up.
how
So,
fast things are going to go down, how fast, because this is the most important, how fast it's going
right.
to affect the real people, the everyday people, with the
Mhm.
prices, right? Because how long will it take until those prices will go high? I mean, month or less? Or they're already up? I don't know what's going on in America.
Prices are going up here.
Depends
They're
on
Because
not
you're
where
going
you.
down.
affected the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. They're going, and well, a good thing globally, Saudi Arabia is about to cut oil prices because of what's going on. So, I mean, it won't, I'm sure the oil companies won't have it reflected at the pump, but gas prices should be coming down because they're concerned
Everything
now.
is going down because everything will go
So
down.
if that's his master
Save in
plan, if that was
sales.
his master plan to bring prices down, then he's the smartest guy on the planet. However,
Stephen, we have to understand that his plan is to take
Mhm.
revenge
Yo,
of
that's what he's
everybody
doing as well.
who was not following him, who was not
Yep.
saying how great he is, how beautiful he is, how
Right.
wonderful he is. I mean, all those stuff. If you did that, you might be somehow safe, because you're not safe in a global environment like that. It's going to affect you anyway. Like, for example, the English market, if you look, it's lower down because they
Mhm.
imposed 10%. It's lower, but it's going to affect them from the other side. I mean, the English economy. It's all global now. You cannot
Yeah.
stop it.
Well,
What is really right is what the Musk say. This is the only logical. There shouldn't be any tariffs from any
well,
country.
there has to be there.
At
Oh.
least,
Here's
okay, let's put
wait,
some
wait.
small
Here's something
tariffs.
interesting about tariffs, and that people don't know. I was watching a guy on Bloomberg. It was explaining one of their analysts about tariffs. He was talking about Canada and the U.S. because apparently we hate Canada this week, and I still like them. Anyway, they were talking about Canada, and they were talking about our farmers sending dairy product to Canada. And the way the tariff works for our farmers is there's a quota. So let's say that our farmers are allowed, and I'm just using low numbers because most people can't think big, 10 buckets of milk or 10 buckets of butter, or whatever it is. So those first 10 buckets, no tariffs. Once you get you go past 10, you get to your 11th bucket, that's when a tariff would hit on our product.
So there's a limit that the tariffs are
No, not a
imposed.
limit. It's just it's a quote. Once you pass the quota, we charge a
Yeah, the
tariff.
quota.
Here's the
Okay.
funny thing. They went back, I guess, 20 years. There's never been a tariff on any American products going to Canada and for the dairy farm or for the farmers because they've never hit the quota. That's how high the quota is. And
Okay,
so all
but
this,
now it will exceed.
well, now Canada is they're charging more for electric they send to the US. They're charging more for lumber. So all the orange guy did was increase prices in the United States and
Yeah,
globally.
yeah, for the customers.
He's creating Hazarai, which for those people that don't know Yiddish, crazy. And it's okay if there's a master plan, and you don't have to tell anybody the master plan. The problem is that from the people that are the reporter that we had on Friday's show was telling us, when you talk to Republicans and Democrats and people in the Beltway that really know, that aren't like, armchair quarterbacks, they go, there is no plan. When they meet with him and his administration, they ask behind closed doors very serious questions. He and it's like, okay, well, this is bad. So even the Republicans realize it's getting bad. Even some of the Republicans are speaking out. The American people over the weekend apparently had protests all over America.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
downtown.
yeah.
Yeah, I was. They
You
had
would,
them here too.
when was the protest downtown? I didn't go.
It was Saturday, but I didn't. I wasn't on the protest subreddit, so I was down there for the Kite Festival.
Don't
and I was
worry,
like,
there'll be
what's
many
going on?"
chances for going to the protest.
I don't do protests. I think it's a waste of my time. I have more important things to do
Okay.
than to go protest. What am I going to
Yeah,
do?
but
Hold
those
up
who
the
want to
sign? Who
go and
cares?
want to show their frustration,
Wait,
they
Vicky,
can go. That's
Vicky went to a
democracy.
protest. Tell us, Vicky, about the protest.
No, I
How
didn't
was it?
go. I was downtown
Oh.
for the Kite Festival, and I didn't know what was going on. And there were all these people at the Capitol, and I went, "What's going on?" And then I got on social media, and I found out what was going on. But I
Don't
was like
worry, there'll be
adjacent
I
many
didn't even know.
to the
chances.
protest.
So how was the Kite Festival?
That was fun. It's great.
At least something is fun.
Look, you guys, I needed some fun, and it was free, which is also a benefit because I'm
There
American.
you
I have
go.
no money now, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a nice distraction. It was good weather, and I flew my kite, and yeah,
You had a kite?
I did.
Why
It
didn't you
has a
take pictures and
velociraptor
send
on
them
it.
to us?
It's on my Instagram. You saw it.
Oh, did I like it? I probably liked it. There you go. So
You
I have
did
to go
like
to our
it.
Instagram really
I think
quick.
so.
So
I have to. I have to
okay.
think
Can we
about
know
it.
your
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, what's your Instagram? Tell the
It's
fans.
If you
Beauty
like.
Lens 1, I think.
Hold on.
Can you
I
I'll
write
don't
look it
remember.
up.
Beauty
Jesus.
Lens 1, I think. Or is it just Beauty Lens? It was just Beauty Lens. I know I always get confused with the
Write it.
contact lens
Copy
company.
this. Copy this on
Hold
the
on, I'm looking for it now.
I like Beauty
Jesus.
Lens here. Oh, I could look for it. Beauty Lens, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it'd probably be easier if you looked for it instead of me. But yeah, make me do the work.
anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just kites.
So what?
I don't
Oh,
think
there
my
it
kite
is.
was on there actually.
It says
We want
Vicky.
to see.
It all it says for me is Vicky. Let me see if Vicky
Because-
has a handle.
Beauty Lens, that's it. Beauty
There.
Lens.
Okay.
But anyway,
so here's if
the
you want to
problem
look at
was my
Vicky's
friends-
Instagram, it's BEATUY.
YLENS.
Right. Beauty Lens. BEAUTYLENS. Beauty Lens. And there she has, just so the world can see, there's her kite.
Kite Fest!
There you go. There's Vicky's
I go every
Instagram.
year with my
There's
friends.
her kite.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's not
Where
my
is
kite,
it?
but that's the
Wait.
it's downtown.
show it?
But anyway, my two best friends that I go with every year are terrible camera people, and so they never got a shot of me flying my kites.
Nice.
I think
Are
he
they-
was
are they
drinking the
Asian?
free seltzer beer or whatever it was, the White Claw. So he was like,
Are your two
"Eh."
friends that you go with Asian or not Asian?
One is Asian, one
Then
is
they should be
Hispanic,
good
and
with the
I'm the
camera.
token white
Well-
chick. We're like the perfect trifecta of minorities that go and cause havoc.
stuff?
And
Well, first of all, the Hispanic and you, I can understand why neither of you can take a picture, but an Asian, come on, they're good with
know.
cameras. I don't understand. So
he was busy.
Oh,
he was busy hitting on the Hispanic chick. Okay, so
No, these are my gay husbands, but it's fine.
they're your
They-
gay
yeah,
husbands.
They were hitting on, yeah.
Other gay
other guys.
husbands.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. All right. It's like a bar
So it
in
was
the
fun.
Key
It was
West.
perfect weather. It was a good time.
Okay.
It was a bunch of liberals running around in this little blue island we have in the middle of the state,
Oh,
drinking
God.
White Claw and staring at the sky. It was fun.
See what you missed, Adam?
Thank you for asking.
You could have.
Sorry?
You're welcome. You could have stared. Alan fell asleep. You could have stared at the sky.
no, I didn't fall asleep. I'm looking for the. I didn't
mustache.
find the
Don't bother.
account. Beauty Lands, one word.
Beautyless.
Yeah.
We have.
I'll just send you a link
that's
later,
one of the-
Adam. It's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it on a live show. We can send it to you. That
I'll
people are
send it to
watching
you in the
you.
group chat.
Yeah, we'll send
Why
it to
don't
you.
you put it in the
It's not
chat so
that
you
big a
should
deal.
get some followers?
Well, she has followers.
I know.
Her mom, her dad, her brother.
Yeah,
her
exactly.
Two gay
I did
husbands.
get-
There you go.
But
I did get
20
the-
moms, 20 dads, 100 brothers.
Yeah, I
Big
got
family.
the DM of
Big
let's grow
family.
your following for this much money. Would you like to grow your following? Thing? And I'm
That's
like,
dumb.
Vicky, what is your roots? I mean,
There, what color is your hair used to be, Vicky? That's what he's asking. So,
it's my
no, the
my
roots
eyebrow
of the,
color.
the roots of the geological roots.
Geological or genealogical?
He's genealogical. He means where we're.
You know, I'm Polish, Adam.
Ah, yeah, you said, but what from one side, the other?
German.
Okay,
Oh,
German
Nazis.
Swiss.
European. What are you doing in the US?
Nazis.
like 80% of the American. What are you doing in the US? You're American. You're European.
Right. But where are you from? Like, really?
We
This is what
we
my
hate-
Asian friend always gets
Man,
asked.
we hate Europeans and what they do.
We do? Yeah, I mean, back in the day, well, still now. I mean,
Yeah.
Polish people were the cheap labor that everybody hated. So, you know, we weren't super popular when my family came over on the boat.
Oh, we are still popular now. We are going
Yeah.
up.
We love. Listen, when I was a kid, we
Poland.
loved the Polish people. We had tons of jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
By the
that
way,
too.
at 27th, I
That-
think I'm going to Poland. So we for
Yay!
almost
Are
a
we gonna do the
month.
show? Are we doing the show from Poland? Or
I don't
no?
know because I don't know where I'll be. I always travel
Okay.
a lot. Every day I'm somewhere else because
Okay.
I don't travel too much now. So when I travel, I get the most of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we.
But
go-
anyway,
so
let's.
are you
let's
taking? Are you taking a holiday? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I have
You
to
buying
go
a
to
house?
Poland because I haven't been like
Forever.
almost 3 years now.
Are you trying to go before the invasion? Is that why? Because I know the Polish government gave a
What
warning to the
invasion
United
of the
States.
Russians?
Yeah, Russian. The
Well,
Polish government
Guys,
on
I
Saturday.
had the worst nightmare today.
What was your nightmare?
Mhm.
The nightmare was, I'll say it very quickly, but I was in an embassy of Russia, but I don't know which country. I was in the embassy of Russia, and there was
That's not
Putin there, and
Ooh.
he invited me to look at my work. This
Nice.
is crazy. So I said, okay, I'll go. And Natalie shows up at the moment. my
Yeah.
girlfriend, and she stayed with me. She was running around, something like that, and then it was canceled next day. So I come next day again with Natalie, and okay, we're waiting in the queue or something like that, and suddenly, because you said something about an Asian girl, suddenly an Asian girl with a white shows up, yeah, and she shoots Natalie in the chest here, and she
That's not
falls
good.
onto me, and so nothing happened, and then she dies.
That's
And
not good. That's not good.
I told you it was a nightmare.
Maybe
I
maybe
wake
you
up,
shouldn't go.
my
Maybe you
headache.
shouldn't go to.
I
Maybe you
had a
shouldn't go to
headache.
Poland.
I wanted to pee. Everything was bad. You
Yeah.
know, I
You
didn't
think?
look at the markets, but it was a sign already that something is
Wrong.
wrong. But fuck, okay, we are talking, about the economy and everything and stuff
Right.
like that. And you know what I hate the most? That every day we have to look up on the news, which is not news, by the way. Anyway, it's bad news. Should be called welcome to bad news. There's no good news anymore on the news, right?
Okay.
And and back in the day, there were some good news. Oh, we are constructing this, and this is we're doing this, and But now it's bad news all the time.
I have good
And
news for you. You want good
okay,
news? Here
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
In the National Hockey League, Alex Ovechkin broke hockey's
Fuck.
unbeatable record. He
Yeah,
got
It doesn't.
Gretzky's
895
record.
goals, which brings
Nope.
Hockey doesn't
Must,
exist
must,
in my head.
must,
So
It's
must,
thank you
good
for the
because
good
because
news.
Gretzky's an asshat.
Gretzky. Yeah, I know he beat Wayne Gretzky's record. So there you go. There is good news out of the NHL today.
But what you're
Yeah.
saying? Ice hockey?
Yeah, ice
Yes.
hockey.
Ah, it
Why is
started.
there
It's the only
another?
one that matters. Yeah.
You watch this in
Do
Texas?
I do. I watch the Rangers play because I'm a New Yorker, and it's law that when the New York Rangers play, I have to watch. So I cheer them
It
on.
was my
The
team
You're not a
until
Islanders,
New
not so
until
Yorker.
much.
You're
Henrik
a wannabe
when
New
Henrik
Yorker.
retired, I stopped watching the Rangers because he was my guy. So
Yeah.
that was
I like my sports. I'm very much a New. All my favorite teams are out of New York. So like I'm a Mets fan, which means I'm never going to see them win the World
sorry.
Series, and I can live with that. I'm not football. I could care less. Giants, Jets, it's all the same crap. But I do watch the Knicks play because I love the Knicks. I watched them as a kid, and then baseball. Like I said, I'm a Mets fan. So and then for hockey, I'm a Rangers fan. Yeah. So
And NBA?
that's the New York Knicks or the Knickerbockers, as they
Okay.
used to be called. The Brooklyn Nets are okay, but they used to be the New Jersey Generals or the New Jersey whatever. Then they moved them over to Brooklyn, so it's still they're a Jersey team. Would exit. So I'm an old school Knicks guy. So
Can you
that's all
guess
I can.
which team I'm supporting?
In what sport?
NBA basketball.
National. Let's see. Who would you like in the NBA?
probably Golden State.
No, he's not a Golden
Where the
State
No?
guy.
Greek freak is playing.
Oh, I don't know where that is
Milwaukee.
actually.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
Yeah,
Oh.
they need all the fans they can get. They only
Yeah, I was
have
gonna
like
say,
6 of them.
no
So
wonder I
yeah,
know.
now they have
Well,
7.
that's the only thing I know. Okay, I know Lakers. I know Boston.
Well, everybody knows Lakers in Boston because
But I don't
everyone's
watch
Lakers,
much.
Chicago, Boston, New York. Those are the
I prefer
teams.
the football that we play. The real
Yeah,
football.
football. Yeah, real football, not that American crap. Those pussies and
Yeah,
helmets and
I
stuff.
like
You
the
like
real football.
yeah,
So
soccer.
okay, I like the Miami now because Messi is playing there.
Oh, you're talking about U.S. football. You're European football club. We'll call it a football club.
Yeah.
But to go
FC.
back to the thing about Poland, if I may, not your nightmare, because that was terrible because we love Natalie.
Yeah, that's enough with the nightmare. I don't want even
The
to think about it.
Polish government said to the United States as well as to the EU that they take the Russian threat of occupation too lightly. They said it over the weekend. It was I think it was either in the Economist or in either the
But
FT
which
or the
one?
Journal.
The occupation,
The
the Ukraine?
Russian, they're saying that they're taking the Russian concept of occupation, meaning going through the Ukraine, going through Europe, too lightly. It was the president of the PM of Poland, and some of their parliament members were like, "You guys, we lived it," and like they're actually they're telling them there's a problem here. You have to be prepared and ready for it. And they're saying that especially the United States right now is downplaying everything, but the EU is kind of like, oh, you have nothing to worry about. By the time they worry about it, it'll be too late, is what they're saying. It'll be like Russia will be in Poland again. So I'll be like, that
No,
was interesting.
there is a hysteria, kind of hysteria in Poland.
Mhm.
And I think in the whole European Union. But this is the first shock because Europeans don't trust anymore. They don't believe anymore that the United States can will defend them if there is any kind of rocket attack or any kind of. So Poland actually wants to have nuclear weapons, and that's what I tell you, that it's multi-level crisis now
Okay.
because of the administration and the American, because it's not only the economy. And by the way, there were a lot of things because I'm looking on the crypto things, and because
Right.
the administration was pro crypto, so many were pro Trump. Oh, sorry, I lost the point.
Oh, you lost the point.
only
As many as I
VK5.
lost, but you're good.
And now I think that they don't like it so much, because it was like kind of thinking that maybe in the economy he will be good,
Right.
but it's not the case. He's
No.
nowhere good.
No.
Nowhere. This is true. There's another. I read there's another guy, young guy, died from the disease,
Measles, the second one in Texas.
Measles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And it will become a crisis everywhere because they are incompetent. How do you say it? Incompetent.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Incompetent.
Kennedy just came out and said, yeah, the best way to combat measles is to have a vaccine.
That's what they are. They don't know what's going on.
Would be good.
Really?
You know the Dow Jones.
Dow Jones, right?
Yeah, not the Dow Jones. Wait, I'll tell you. There is a, and it happens to many people who are. Yeah. There's the Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger. Yeah. This is kind of psychological state that the less you know, the more you're confident about what you know. I mean, you're sure about what you know. You're right. So there, those guys and also the followers are the same, because you can see that on the comments, and they will support it until it will touch them. I believe so.
Soon.
Because, and it will become soon.
I disagree. Even when it touches them, they support it.
Vicky, it will, because
they're
it's
going
survival
over
mode.
the cliff.
When you will go to the supermarket,
they won't. They're far indoctrinated into it that they're just going to go off the cliff with the rest of the lemmings. They're never gonna. These people are. I mean,
they will. They will.
Everything I see in social media is, people are like, "Are you sick of the tariffs yet?" And they're still going.
I also look at the social media, but this is a part, very, very small part of what's really happening in the real life. No,
what I'm saying, these are where the maggots hang out, and the maggots are still saying, "Yeah, but like, what? Can you explain to me what's bad about a tariff? Because we've been screwed over for so long. I don't understand why you guys are saying it's a bad thing." And then everybody tells them why it's a bad thing, and then they go, "Well, I don't believe it."
Right.
And you're just like,
well, okay, you will believe it. That's why I tell that they will believe when they will be touched. I mean,
but it's already touching them, and they still don't
they will
get
go
it.
to the supermarket and they will look at the price and will
I got one.
put glasses, although they don't wear. Can you give me your glasses? Oh my God!
All right.
We'll see. We'll see. I have less faith in the American idiots than you do.
Yeah, let me tell you, the problem is that most people, and we discussed this with Michael Collins, who's an economist that comes on our show on Lost Dollar, and Michael said, which is true, most people don't understand what a tariff is, and they've done interviews with people and when people go, China's going to pay, and then a guy will kind of explain to you what a tariff is, and they explain it, and this is like a PhD economist or a finance guy, and they'll go, no, you're wrong. That's not what the orange man said, and it's sort of like, I'm sorry. What do you do for a living? And I'm talking some of these people, and I'm not belittling anybody, are just guys that, drive a truck, and other of them run companies, and they don't get what a tariff is. So the problem is it's the dumbing down of America. And until American children get real education again and have brains, and you don't have to give remedial math at Harvard because the kid comes in knowing math, then the problem is you have a country of stupid people. They're ostriches. They stick their head in the sand and they're like, oh, and whoever's at the White House is going to make it perfect. And no, if you don't have an opinion or a formed democracy, then you have morons. So everything that's going to happen to our country, you know what? Good.
Yeah, you're prone to
because people are stupid and they deserve what they get. And then when they wake up, it'll be too late. And just because 100,000 or 10,000 or however many people protested on Saturday throughout the United States, okay,
That is the
good for
beginning.
you.
It doesn't affect policy. It never has.
It doesn't. Well, what's happening is Republicans now are starting to, and big investors. There's an article right now on Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal that's talking about like some of the top investors in the world are saying, or in the United States, that could affect Trump. I'm sorry, three. I have two left. Are saying this is bad. This is what it's going to cause. One of them is trying to be nice and say it'll be stagflation, and the others are like, you're an idiot. It's going to be a recession or a depression. So there's people out there that are Republicans that are telling him, you better have a real master genius plan, unless you're just handing us over to Russia, which it almost seems like what he's doing. So there's got to be a plan, and if there isn't,
Well,
didn't some Republicans vote to lift the tariffs on Canada over the weekend or on Friday or something? Susan Collins.
There's votes on removing tariffs on Canada, and like a lot of them are trying to kill the tariffs and the executive
actually,
order.
you
The
know
federal
something?
judges
I
are.
think that he will take them off. He will withdraw them.
If the damage is done, though, the damage is done.
Yeah, the damage is already done because
The
it's
damage
still
is
at the
done.
beginning of his. It's just the third month, fourth
They'll be like,
month.
well, we don't want to trade with you anyway because you're too unstable. So we're just going to play over in our sandbox. And
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I tell you that's the feeling in Europe. And to be honest, what is the closest ally to USA?
Us?
Europe. It was Europe.
Well,
Europe, Canada, Australia.
Canada was closer.
They're all
but
hit. Yeah, but they're all hit hardly.
Now they don't care.
Mean, none.
Yeah. I think the problem is going to be that something's going to hit the fan, and the United States now is going to need help. And it's sort of going to be like
Greece will bail out America.
Well, Greece always bails out. But I mean, Canada and Australia, all these people, UK, all these allies of ours that have helped are going to be like, no, we don't think so. And that's going to be a problem.
They're, from now on, whatever administration it is, even if he falls and the Democrats come again, the damage is done. There is, the trust is something that you don't earn easily, but you lose easily. Right. The same with the destruction, like creating is much harder than destruction. Destruction happens in 2 days. Now I read that we were talking about numbers. Bloomberg says it's 9.5 trillions that were lost.
Oh, and the loss right now? That could. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. There you go. Market tumbles as a 3-day sell-off wipes out $9.5 billion. That's a lot. Can I tell you? We spent that last weekend in Vegas, so it's not so bad. So
I mean, do the people understand how many zeros is there? It's not 9 because this is billion. It's 12. 12.
Yeah, it's a lot of zeros.
12. Yeah, 12 zeros. 12 zeros. My God. And 9.
Well,
not
and
1.
the nice part about that is 200 billion of that is Mr. Musk's. So, and this is what you get for being
take that, Tesla stockholders, and stick it up your Cybertruck.
Yeah, there you go. But no, I mean, the problem is it's going to get, I'm sure today it'll be 12 or 13 billion or trillion. I'm sorry, it's 9 now. It'll be 13 by the end of the day, which will be cool. So tomorrow when this rebroadcast, people will be like, hey, look at that, they knew. Or if it goes the other way, they'll be like, idiots. So listen, here's our prediction for.
They call us idiots anyway.
And look, I think this is reaction because he imposed them on Wednesday. This reaction from the Chinese tariffs. Europe is also preparing.
Yeah.
Tariffs. So there'll be another,
Yeah. But what China's also doing, which it was an article this morning, that they're doing their bailouts now. They're giving money to companies and whatever now to go ahead of America. There was an article over the weekend in the FT talking about why their electric car, like BYD and Li, and they gave a list of all 36, why they're outdoing what America does. They have better self-driving cars than Tesla. They have better this, better that. I mean, like they are kicking butt. And now with AI and deepfake or whatever, DeepSeek, they're kicking butt on that. So China's, it's the old Napoleon thing. Don't wake the sleeping tiger. You woke it. And that was Nixon and Mao. And that was fine. But then all of a sudden Mao died because Mao wasn't going to, this would have never happened with Mao.
Right.
Deng Xiaoping, and I keep saying this, Deng Xiaoping came in, and Deng Xiaoping was a capitalist. And he is what the Chinese people today, including Xi, have to thank, where China is globally and economically in the world. It started with Mao and Nixon with shaking of the hands. But Deng Xiaoping was the capitalist in China that's like, okay, here's what we need to do. And they're all following his, 1,000-year plan. And China's gonna, you woke them up, and you can't stop them now. And
Yeah.
they're showing you can't.
I think
Go
I
ahead,
should be
Vicky.
spending my time learning Chinese and not learning Korean. It's probably going to
Listen,
be more useful
I
in
will
my
call. I'll
future.
call
Oh, it's
Xi and
next
see if he's
door.
looking for a girlfriend.
But you know that Chinese, South Koreans, and Japanese, they are making a small, a union there.
Trilateral
for the,
agreement.
well,
Yep.
look,
Yep.
look now, because the main economy is off. The other countries have to survive. They have to try to do the best.
Yep.
To
Yep.
get. I mean, all the ideological barriers and everything. When it's about economy, because it's about survival. Economy is survival. People are no government wants protesting. They want people happy to some degree. It's what you were saying, Stephen, that from the beginning, before the elections, that what I'm worried about is the everyday people, which it's what I asked, that did they touch them yet? When they will be touched.
The Catholic Church touched him. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it will be hard. It will be hard because
That's what
those
happened when they
prices
touched
are
them.
not
They got
going to
hard.
go down.
So,
So, yeah. Go ahead, Vicky.
you have to be careful what you say around him, Adam, because he just
Yes.
takes that ball and runs with it. So you have
I
to
have a
be very
photographic and
careful what words
pornographic
you
mind.
use.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I mean the issue.
Oh, we don't have Stephen.
Oh, look, they got him, Adam. They got him. My government.
Look,
They
I
shut
think
him
he
up.
didn't pay. He lost all his money today, and he doesn't have money for the internet.
The spy that's paid to watch his feed is now hit the button.
Look at him; he's
like
really frozen. Oh,
he got. But anyway, are we frozen? Are we okay? Are we actually live? I don't even know, because he runs the whole thing. He runs the ship. So
don't worry.
we
Oh,
might be in
I
trouble.
run the. Look at my name. I run the show.
You run
and
the
all
ship.
the
That's
shows.
true. The sinking Titanic. You run. That's
Actually,
the ship you
he's
run.
not here. We can say the name.
That's
So
true. We can say it as many times as we want, and he won't know.
Here, Trump.
know. Oh
Yeah,
God. Well, we can make
Keep
sexual
going.
innuendo jokes now too, because you can't say anything about that either. But
yeah.
whatever.
So let's
anyway.
make jokes about Steven. But you see, only that day it could happen. It would never happen. Oh my God, the whole world is turned upside down. Really, now I'm starting to worry. If Steven is disappeared, they got him.
I'm telling you, being part of the lizard people did not save him.
Oh my God, nothing saved. Not even the aliens or anything.
I know. I'm afraid to actually leave the country and come back now, because they can take your phone and check your social media.
Don't say the word now.
Oh,
He's
back.
Okay, back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. So that was the government
master plan. That was the
minute he says it.
That was a good.
Censorship is real, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's made a
this is
war to the
scary.
government. Oh, that's not a wise thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, he's in
With the
trouble.
United States
We're
of
next,
America,
Adam.
what's
We're
he doing?
next.
Well,
they're coming for me next. If I freeze, you
you
know
are
what
next.
happened.
I am in Europe. They will
true.
protect me.
If I'm frozen, you know what happened. The government got it.
There you
Okay.
I don't believe you're here yet. I'm not talking to you two. You're not frozen for the next couple minutes, because I have a feeling that the spies
No,
are going to
I'm
get
here.
you again.
I'm here. So.
Well played. Well
Oh
played.
my God. Adam, very funny. You can see your fingers moving. And hello to Dawn.
No,
Unless
your
you guys have
eyes
already
are
said hello to
moving.
Dawn.
Your eyes are doing this all the time.
Yeah.
That's the way
This is
the
just-
eyes
this is
operate.
just-
They scan.
Yeah, this is just we have Spectrum, and Spectrum sucks. So they go out
What
all
do
the
you mean?
time.
You
And I'm
used
like, I have no
computer
idea.
Spectrum, ZX Spectrum. You remember?
No, Spectrum is
the
a
computer?
internet provider in Texas,
Expecto
and it's
Patronum.
either that or Google, and they both suck because they both die all the time. So it's like the lesser of two
Guys,
evils.
look, I have lived the great crash and everything in Greece. I'll give you advices.
Sure.
It's for 15 years now, and the government, of course, here says that economically, yeah, with the numbers and
Yeah.
everything looks better, but the real life, It's very hard. to
It's
do
not
this, you
good.
know?
Yeah.
Not good at all.
I don't even know
Because
what we're talking about anymore.
we have actually we have higher prices than Germany. That means that we are
Right.
have higher prices at supermarket in America,
Right.
and we have higher prices. But you know, the median income here is about, I don't know, 1,300 euros, and in Germany it's double. So, and there was only one thing that was different and was cheaper. Here was the houses, the renting and everything, but now it's also up and this. So it's hard everywhere. And you know something, the crazy thing, and if you zoom out, because I always say that we should always zoom out. That's what I do in general, because if you're, you know, zoom in all the time, you don't see the big picture.
Right.
We are living in 2025 when we have so many machines, we have so many things. Did really our way of life become better, or I'm not sure. I mean, at least in the West, I know that there have been a lot of shift to the east and China and other countries there, Vietnam and Indonesia and maybe India, of course. But the West has not been so. I think it went down. Although we have, I mean, we use the machines, we use the technology, we use AI, you know, everything.
Right.
And where do we see this? We don't see it.
No. If
And
somebody's making
this
noise,
is also
then they
one of the
wiggle.
reasons that people vote for bullshit.
Adam, your headset's making noise when you talk. Just like
Again.
Yeah.
It's his little cord gets wrapped around his
It's
neck.
your little
Yeah.
cord. You get all excited. It gets wrapped around
I
you
need
because
to
you know
buy
you like touching things. Go ahead, Vicky.
There was some I guess GPT came out with an image generator for the free side now. And so everyone like lost their mind on the internet, and they all did the Miyazaki filter, and it was like the trending thing where everyone took their pictures and put the Miyazaki filter on it.
Yeah. That's a
And like Miyazaki, that's like the worst person you could do that to, because he came out right when AI was coming out, and his animators were pitching it to him and talking about how, you know, it could help draw backgrounds and stuff. And he literally said it's an affront to human life. He hated it. He wanted nothing to do with it.
AI?
And because Japan has no copyright laws against using his style of animation, that
I don't think that he became suddenly very, very popular. I mean, I didn't know that guy, although I'm into those.
He was my sensei.
I didn't know him, but now I know him because
Yeah.
everybody is using this. This is the thing
Yeah,
with
his work is
hypes
amazing.
and stuff. I don't like hypes.
Don't like
And AI became a hype also in arts. Now the robotics are coming into hype, and I was watching, you know, now coming a little, you know, outside the politics, a little to arts and everything. I made a comment on some of the biggest their art, you know, sites on Instagram and everything, that was showing a guy who was pouring, I mean, liquid glass on some kind of a canvas or whatever it is, and I wrote this, that we are at the point where in art, it doesn't, what matters is the technique.
Right.
It doesn't matter to have meaning. That's what I say, that what we're living in general is a meaning crisis. It's a meaning crisis. We are taught now, and looking on the Instagram and every social media, how the rich people live, and we want to live like them. And until we get there, we are not satisfied. That means that we're never satisfied, because we'll never become Elon Musk or all those billionaires. We're never.
Yeah, but that's not really true.
And there's no point on becoming billionaire. What's the point on becoming like? That's so much vanity into this. I mean, I understand to have money, you need money and everything, but you have to impose a red line somewhere. That look, here life is. I have the money. I have the money. It's enough for me. Now I live, you know. I socialize. I talk with people. I try to make my life better, because it's not always about economy. It's a big factor in our lives, but it's not only this, right? But because we have meaning crisis generally, that's what I say. It's a philosophical, it's a metaphysical problem. That's why I say that we should zoom out, and I say it all the time because I really believe so. And I watched one of the. Yesterday I was watching one debate between philosophers, one the one that I follow the most, and another one who was Buddhist. And I tried to learn about Buddhism a little, but Buddhism is like, it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me.
Are we going to go to that now?
We can.
That's a whole other
Do you
show.
That's a
know? Do you know
show.
about Buddhism?
I
To
do know
tell me.
about Buddha.
I
I
know a
rub his
little.
belly all the time. I've read the book. I read there's two sets. I read the Tao side of it or whatever, and the Buddhist side of it. I read history on both of them. It's a whole thing. It's very fascinating, actually.
Well, what is so fascinating? I find it very confusing. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, there are many schools of Asian philosophy and religion and stuff like that. I am more into the Indian.
Now, when you say Indian, do you mean or do you mean Megatrius?
No,
Look
no,
at her. Which
India,
Indian do you
India,
mean?
India.
Okay,
Those
India.
Indians
Okay,
don't exist anymore.
that's right.
They
I'm
are
just making sure.
past. You killed them
Yeah.
all.
I didn't
No, there are
personally
some
kill them
few.
all, but yeah, that's too funny. All
But
right, so Adam, what's your schedule? So tell the fans when you're going on holiday, so they know that you won't be around for a month. When's your last show?
yeah, for a month. But okay, I will try to
Next week we have a
maybe.
show, right?
Yeah, next week probably yes.
Okay,
But
we have a show.
yeah,
Okay,
next week is okay. Should be
good.
okay.
All right, then
And
we'll have a show.
now
It's
I'm
very
working a
exciting.
lot on there is a competition that I want to take part. I haven't been working on a competition for many years, but this one is a big one, and there are the biggest names. I told it I think last time. So I cannot show
I'm
you the
gonna hey,
artwork.
listen. Tell Vicky about this. I'm gonna run to the loo, and then I'm gonna come
Okay.
back and we'll do the show. This is all you and Vicky for the next like say 3
So
minutes.
this competition
like
is
when
really
you're frozen.
interesting because he's that's a day.
Yes, like when I'm frozen.
He thinks he's frozen. The artwork that I promote, to show that we have a show, is showing two faces, one upside down, and there is some snow, so they are frozen too, like frost.
Right.
Everything makes sense. The universe
are
is
you
telling
doing-
us all the time. It's full of meaning. We just don't read the meanings. That's
Very
what's
true.
going on.
So are you going to do a 3D printed?
Yeah.
piece for
It's a
the
digital
podcast?
art competition. It's there are four sectors. There are still image, innovation, moving image means video, animation, something like that. But it has to be digital. So I'm taking part with 3D. I don't think I will use AI. I'm still having problems with AI. I mean, AI is very good with someone who has not developed anything, a style, or is not. It's from nothing. You get always something that is already interesting. But if you're already an artist like me, like professional, and you are into details, and most of all, you are into control of what you're doing, because that's what about, professionals, right? The mediums. It's not good yet. It's not. I don't know if probably in the future it will be somehow, but it's not yet. I mean, I tried even, I found some models that I tried to train them with my works, because I have a lot of works, right? So they should normally, the more works you give to them, they cannot do it. Every time that I say, okay, create an artwork, a new artwork, that no one would say, that it's not his artwork. Everybody would say, oh, it's his work. They cannot do it. With the style.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing, though, I think, for you, at least for now.
Well, look, it's not only this, because look, what I said before about the technique, about the arts, it's like saying that I have a mobile phone, but the mobile phone is so beautiful that I love the mobile phone more than what it does, actually. I'm in love with that's what I say about the technique. Technique is one of the parameters of the artwork. I have no problem with artists searching new techniques, new ways of expressing, etc., etc. But look, new ways of expressing. So the main thing is expressing, but I don't see expressing as the only expressing through the technique. Oh, look what I have searched around here with these glasses, and I don't know, or even 3D prints, or even 3D, or everything like that. I always try to whatever message is, because I believe that the universe holds meaning in general. This is my problem with the Buddhism. I don't know. Do you have time to tell us about Buddhism a little? Because I'm really interested.
Well, I was just gonna make the point about Miyazaki, who is he's super famous in Japan. He's super famous within the whole anime community. But his whole thing was about storytelling, first and foremost. It wasn't about his style or technique or whatever. He just used that to tell his stories. And so many of his stories were about technology or, about, the human condition and spirit and all these things that happen to his characters. And so I think that whole thing where it was like, it wasn't so much that he was upset about AI coming in and using his look to transform people's, profile picture. It was about the fact that the whole element of his storytelling and the human plights that
which was
people went through
identified
was wiped away.
That's why I'm
Which
taking
was
about
identified with that.
techniques.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are saying exactly with a paradigm, with a real paradigm, what I was saying.
Exactly. So I think that was the whole thing where he was upset.
This is what AI is doing in the arts. It's because the narrative and everything that he created, and he created it all his life, is identify also with the style. You cannot avoid this.
Right.
But it's not about the style, what he said. But after a point when everybody is using this style for just their own personal pictures with a dog and everything like that, it's diminishing the narrative, which is the essence of the expression. That is a problem, and this is what I'm saying about that. We are in a general crisis. What I was saying, that it's a Greek word which actually is not painted with bad meaning. The crisis means judgment. So we're in a judgment because the judgment is always about the future. What will happen in the future? And we said about some things about China. Stephen said that this is good for China actually, because they are more organized, they are faster, they have the people, they have the technology now, they have everything now. And we in the West, we have, I'm sorry to say, we have Trump.
You're with me. We both said it twice. We're both 3-3. Vicky's the only one that
well,
has
I said
left.
It 10 times when you were gone.
Okay. No, I listened. You didn't.
Vicky wins always.
The whole thing.
Women win. Because
you know why? That's
because one for the librarians.
Even I cannot look, Stephen. I cannot look out the fact that Trump is a man who is also, the patriarch guy. This is what he's representing, actually.
Yeah.
Wasn't he saying grab her by the?
Yeah.
What's that? Isn't he not accused? He was
convicted felon.
He was convicted. We have a president of the greatest country in the world who was convicted.
But there's a pro and a con. The con is there isn't any. Well, he is. But the pro is it truly means in America anyone can grow up and be president. And there you go. So
if you're not born here.
Because it needs some talent to manipulate all those stupid people, because they are not that easy. No,
actually, no. The people here are very stupid, and it's not that hard to manipulate people here. They are really just stupid. I mean, it's just anything.
That comes with a price, Stephen.
Our social decline started, and I hate to pick on these people, but they were very smart. The Kardashians, right? They were the first, if you will, reality television family. There was one in the 70s that didn't take off because we didn't have social media. But the Kardashians
wasn't it the Big Brother?
No, but Kardashians are the ones that kind of start, right? They kind of started it all with what they have.
Yeah, but you're talking about specific way.
Yeah, I don't know.
They made a lot of money. Probably
society is, but that's why though, because everybody wants to be like society and see where we are.
Yeah, but it's another sign of emptiness. I mean. This is what I'm actually searching about the Buddhist thing, but they're talking about the emptiness. That's the goal is to become.
Do you want to do?
They don't
do you want to
believe
do
in
next week's
an ultimate reality.
Right.
We will have to, because I'm interested in Buddhism. Because
next week's show, Buddhism.
Okay. Okay.
So you're gonna say a lot.
Do some research.
You're a librarian, or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to do research because I don't know enough to speak on it really.
Let's do some research and let's talk about Buddhism.
I've read the books. I've read the books on Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. I found it all fascinating. They all have the same premise. But if we want, we can do some research on it. And next week's show, let's just talk about that.
Because
no politics, no nothing. I'm sure it'll go there.
It'll come in.
But we need to learn about Buddhism, because they're talking about emptiness, and soon we will open up the fridge and it will be empty. So let's,
Next week is Buddhism. Then that's it. That's it for next week. So once again,
okay.
Don't forget, everybody, Thank you for watching or listening.
Hello,
if you're
Dawn.
listening to the
I now
podcast.
saw that Dawn was
Don
right.
came and left already. Yeah. So we will see everybody next Monday live with Adam. We're going to touch Buddhism, I think, or I like the way I say it,
Yeah.
Buddhism. It sounds so dirty.
Unless
Buddhism.
something
Sorry.
else comes up with
Something else comes
this
up. We'll
guy,
change this show.
because we're wasting our lives talking about this.
Yeah, we'll think of something else. And you can catch Vicky at Hilda's
need.
House of Pain this week in the Librarian room. Book your appointments early. Adam, we will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and like everybody, and we'll see everybody next Monday. Have a good week, everybody. Cheers. That was, as
That was
they
fun.
say,
That's never happened before.
what? The internet?
That you.
Hey, I got to end the live stream. There we go. I knew I forgot to hit a button.
Even your internet going
froze,
out.
went to the toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta go to the loo.
I thought it was Dave